our fears. In a world so heavy, it's a breath of fresh air. Voices that resonate, hearts laid bare. Oh, little black rain cloud, bring your thunder. Raindrops of wisdom, pulling us from under.
Good morning, Little Black Rain Cloud community. We'd like to say a big thank you to our live studio audience right outside the window here. One of our producers, Nico, who you have all met, is making strange faces at Kent and I through the glass.
From the peanut gallery, literally.
Peanut gallery, yes. All right, so we are live. This is our season finale. Yep. And we've got Kent over there in the booth.
Driving, steering the ship.
Yes.
Never mind.
The ship is off course today. We've had an interesting morning.
We're just floating now.
Started with birds and dolphins and crows and ravens and baked potatoes because of Shanti. Speaking of baked potatoes.
Potatoes.
Yeah, baked potatoes. If you've never tried to say those two words fully, baked potatoes. We have Shanti joining us again today. I mean, she basically is on the show with us every week at this point. She should just stay.
She should.
It's, I've noticed our ratings get better when Shanti's on or when Christian's on, so I should just keep them on.
Or get a cutout and just set them next to you.
A little standy.
They put it on the green screen behind you.
Oh, that's amazing. We should. We could totally do that. Okay.
I dig it. Into it.
So I'm going to give. So technology is wonderful. My shout out to my mom, who is, I think, in the digital audience watching online. If you're live, Mom, go ahead and say hi. As I text her from the studio. Okay, as the season finale, we want to talk about the things that we've already covered to some extent, and also where we're going next season, and a little bit of everything. We started the season. Yes. My mom is live. Hello, Mom.
Hello. Welcome in.
All right. I can put that away now. Okay. So we talked about a lot of stuff this season. We talked about bullying, both from the side of being bullied as well as the perspective of somebody who was a bully and is now reformed. And you guys all know Christian. Everybody loves Christian.
Hard to understand that.
I know. Anybody that knows Christian knows
how who he is now, certainly.
Right. Like, this man tutors children.
Well,
yeah, exactly. He's a super, super nice guy. It totally blows my mind. But we also covered a lot of other pretty heavy topics. We talked about loss of a loved one. We talked a lot about people who have taken their own lives. We talked about loss of a child.
Math.
We did talk about math. We did. That was last. I mean, that's trauma in and of itself.
For a lot of people.
Right, we talked about sexual assault. We talked about abuse in the home, domestic violence.
Anxiety and depression was the first one I was on.
Yep, anxiety, depression,
which made us all anxious to be on, which was great.
Yeah, I caused a lot of anxiety because of that.
The word we can't use.
People who have taken their own life. Yeah, and I'm so proud of you. You've come so far.
I'm usually the guy who uses it.
The only one who's ever said it live on the stream. So we've talked about a lot, but I feel like, and last week everybody met Larry. And Larry likes to talk about a way of looking at, how we approach things. and we're a mile wide and an inch deep. That's kind of what season 1 was.
Mm-hmm.
We really didn't dive into the depths of those topics. We talked a little bit about each one of them, bringing a little bit of light on them, but I think this next season is going to be a lot more on some of the topics we've already started talking about. But also, Shanti and I actually were talking about this last night when we were like, oh, we should probably get our shit together and talk about what we're going to talk about tomorrow.
How'd
Because
that work out?
we planned.
Very
So we
Good.
plan well. In the words of my Uncle Mario, proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance.
That's right.
We're doing great. So something that we talked about yesterday was there are certain things that, unfortunately, most men will never understand. As are some things that some women will never understand. I think something about peanut butter this morning.
That's right.
We'll go into that later.
It was the fish and the dolphins.
The dolphins, fish, peanut butter. It was weird. But on a serious note, there are things that some men will never understand. And being a man, I'm going to ask you, have you ever walked into a bar and been catcalled, Ken?
No.
No?
No.
Not once.
I mean, would you like to be? I mean, we can do that for you if you need.
Probably when I was younger.
Okay. For women, that's a pretty common occurrence.
Yeah.
Even like by society standard, women that aren't necessarily a 10. Almost every woman I know has been catcalled in some way. And most men will say, and I don't want to say all men, but a lot of men will say, what's the big deal? It's not the cat call per se. It's what happens after the cat call that is concerning.
When I was in court reporting school, there was actually one day where a young woman who was one of the students, she was coming in kind of off time, so we were already in class, and she actually rejected somebody who yelled at her from the car, and he pulled over and chased her into our school.
Into your school?
Yeah, what happens after?
Yeah.
Because you're not allowed to say no all of a sudden?
Yeah, like the autonomy goes out the window when rejection enters the chat.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a problem. And it happens to a lot of men too. I mean, let's be real. Sexual assault and harassment and stalking happens to men too. The perpetrators are not only women, not only men, it's both, and it happens to both. So I don't want to single anybody out, but most men don't get catcalled. I'm not going to say the word out loud because I find it to be abhorrent, but I've been called a couple of things, one of which starts with a C, and crazy. That's what you're I know.
Yeah. a little shorter, I'm betting.
Yeah. See you next Tuesday. Yeah, shorter. The idea that is a word that is thrown at women in a derogatory manner, one, is disturbing to me.
Yeah.
And two, why is it necessary? Have you ever been called that?
See you next Tuesday?
Yeah.
Probably, yes.
Oh, okay, good. Good. It's not just me.
I understand my name is Kent.
That's okay. So you have
fair.
Growing up, very much so.
I'm thinking Nico may not have ever been called
Maybe
that.
not.
Yeah. I could be wrong.
Hopefully not.
But there are other things that demographically a lot of people don't understand. When Shanti and I were working in our previous endeavor together, we were the pre-screen for applicants. You know, we would look at their resumes, and I can't see what my mom said. It's over there somewhere.
It bothers me more when women use the term.
Yes, well, that's fair. I say it once in a while, but I really have to hate somebody. So Shanti and I were doing a bunch of pre-screening, and I would read the resumes, and I would call them and, get a little bit of information like, are you actually in the state we're looking for? Are you in Brazil? Like, where are you? And yeah, you got to be, you got to meet these criteria. And one of the resumes I received, and I'm going to change the name completely for his sake. The name at the top, and it won't matter. The name at the top, it was really pretty. It was like Antonio like Miguel Juan Hernandez. It was really, and it flowed really, it was really pretty. And I'm like reading, and this man was so overqualified for what he was applying for. Like he should have owned a company rather than simply be at the company. And then I looked back at the top of the resume, and in big bold letters, which I hadn't noticed the first time because I was scrolling fast, in big bold letters, it said, "I am a U.S. citizen." And he felt it necessary to put that at the top of the page because what his name was.
Yeah.
And it never even occurred to me that he wasn't a U.S. citizen.
Right.
But I do imagine that there are people that wonder by his name, oh, your last name is Hernandez. You must not be legal.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really sad because I've never had anybody look at me and say, you aren't legally in this country. Shanti, they look at you and they assume you live here, right?
Pretty much. And yet I am not native.
Right.
So,
right. So there's a lot of different aspects that I think we can cover that some, whether it's a minority or demographics, may encounter that some of us will never understand.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So what else did we think we were going to cover this next season?
We talked a little bit about neglect.
Oh, we did. And then I neglected to talk about it.
It's not actually the same thing.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. We did talk about neglect because we did talk a lot about child abuse this season, but we didn't necessarily talk about what it looks like when you're alone and neglected. And that was another thing. How many times, Shanti, has somebody looked at you and said, wow, you are so strong. Look how independent you are. That's wonderful.
Out loud?
I've said it.
Yeah, I don't know. Quite a fair amount, yeah.
And nobody automatically jumps to, oh, that's a trauma response.
I weaponized my hypervigilance.
Yes, I'm hyper independent and I do it myself. Why? Because nobody else does.
Yeah.
Nobody else
I
has.
was alone a lot. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's more helpful now than it was then. But, hey.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it definitely helps now. But overly independent because we never had anybody to lean on for that.
And then when people try to help, it's very, very, very difficult to accept help or ask for help. I'm getting better.
You ask for help sometimes.
I'm getting better.
Yeah.
But it's hard, right? I mean, we talked about that before the show a little bit about how we were raised.
Mm-hmm.
And
we did.
That's a big issue for me. Is like, I know I could ask for help, but the way that I was raised, I'm like, I got to try to figure this out.
Mm-hmm.
And my thought is always like, hey, you're paying me to do a job. I better not come to you and ask how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to try to figure this out. So I've had a lot of times where employers or people up the ladder go, why didn't you just ask for help? This, and I'm like, that's not in me.
Sometimes it doesn't even look like it's an option.
Yeah.
It doesn't even occur to us. Oh gosh, you were so strong during that. Whatever happened, I didn't see another option.
Right.
There was no other avenue.
Yeah. What was I supposed to do? Just lie down?
Right.
Like, well, that's it. Bye.
And it sometimes causes friction with other people.
Yeah.
Especially spouses. I've had, whether it's somebody I'm married to or somebody I've dated in the past, whatever, they'll say, well, I was going to be home in a little while. Why didn't you wait to move the couch?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because I wanted it done now, first of all. And second of all, I got it.
It wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
Well, how did you move that entire armoire by yourself? Well, I put a moving blanket under it and I shimmied it across the room. Yeah. Thing is like 6 times my weight, but I moved it.
Just make sure it's not tipping.
It tipped a couple times.
Oh boy.
It was the last house. It's fine. But hypervigilance and hyperindependence is seen as a strength, but sometimes it literally is a trauma response.
Mm-hmm.
Something my mom said not too long ago. We sitting at the table and I must have been talking about me as a kid. And my mom, and I have MS. Everybody knows that. But my mom also has MS. And when she would get a migraine or something like that, all she had to tell me, and I was little, we're talking like under 7 years old. all she would have to tell me was, Hope, I have a headache. And that was enough for me to know, okay, go in the other room, play quietly.
Mhm.
I mean, I was safe. I was cared for. I was fed. I was warm. All those things, all the necessities were covered. But I knew that I had to play by myself. And I'm very good at entertaining myself. Yay, only child. Same for Shanti. Do you entertain? I know you entertain yourself well.
I literally used the phrase yesterday. I have a rich internal fantasy life. I am never bored.
Fair. Are you both only children?
I'm the youngest of 4 boys.
I'm so sorry.
So
Nico, are you an only child? Okay, so you also entertain yourself well. Yeah.
I mean, I kind of had to because my brothers are older. You're going to get beat up or whatever.
That's
So,
fair.
So I learned, or I went to friends' houses or whatever because, and it's interesting because my 3 older brothers are still pretty close.
Mhm.
If I see them 2 or 3 times a year, talk to them 2 or 3 times a year, that's a lot.
You could see my mom's comment from
I
there.
got bored.
She gets bored now. But no, I don't know how. Mom, to be fair, my mom had a bunch of cousins right around the same age, and they were around all the time. Like my cousin, her cousin Judy, well, she's my cousin too, but her cousin Judy, Sandy, or Betty, and stuff like that. So she had. What is happening with Nico right now?
I don't know. The live studio audience is now.
I love that nobody at home can see this. We've just got one of our producers randomly taking.
It came from behind me, scared me. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, poor Kent the other day talk about trauma. So, birds, man.
I couldn't enjoy lunch. I was freaked out.
My mom's also afraid of birds. We should probably talk about phobias next season too.
Oh, and my mom's afraid of birds, and I've got the whole fish thing that I can't explain.
Oh, I think that's a big. That's because everybody's got them. I think that's big. Birds.
Well, you with birds, and Shanti with fish, and my mom with birds, and Shanti's mom with birds, and Alfred Hitchcock did a number on our parents.
Yeah, to be fair, that did come out when she was a kid, and then she would walk with her sister to school and get dive bombed by magpies, and that just coalesced into further drama.
Yeah. Is she also afraid of taking a shower in a hotel room if she's by herself?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Okay.
No.
So I just called my mom out for no reason.
Oops.
There you go. So what other, I don't know who else is in the chat right now, but what other types of, situations and trauma have we not covered yet that probably should be in next season? Do you have any back there?
You know what I think? And I self-limiting beliefs is big, or your inner talk, your inner monologue, I think. Because as I don't care who you are, as positive as you could be or whatever, and whose voice is it that you hear? That would be two that always kind of fascinate me. Like, where did that thought come from? Type of a thing. And especially if you've had trauma, you know what I mean? So like the bird phobia, it's like, I mean, I've been obviously a duck tried to hit me, but I've been attacked by roosters and red-winged blackbirds and barn swallows, what I say attacked. Right. So, so there's something, even the most majestic birds, you're like, oh no, a bald eagle, that's a midget. That shouldn't even be a bird. It's so big.
It is large. Yeah, I think I would be afraid if that was flying at me.
Yeah. Any bird. Yeah. But I think what holds us back too, and there's probably a connection in there someplace. I'm not a psychologist, nor do I play one on the show, but that voice in your head, or that self-limiting belief that says, no. Somewhere in your past, somebody said you can't or something, and it's stuck.
That's true. And I wonder how much of that we have talked about this before, about what happens in our formative years, and that is psychologically proven. But a lot of what happens in our formative years is going to shape who we are now. And back to that hypervigilance and hyperindependence. During my formative years, I was very independent, and that's okay. But that's where it started. How we feel about ourselves very much comes from that inner voice. And there are three different voices, or three different identities that we all have. We have, our inner, our true who we are,
Mhm.
our self-doubt, and then what we present to the world. And all three of those, if you combined them, would be a more like total like value of what you are. But curiously,
Yeah.
for either you or Shanti, or even my mom, who's in our audience out there, when you're scared, or when you're angry, or when you have a very strong emotion of any type, is the voice you hear in your head your own, or is it someone else?
That's what I'm talking about.
But when I am super, super, super mad,
Yeah.
it's not my voice in my head. When I'm angry, I hear my grandfather's voice.
Ooh,
That's
Because
interesting.
that is interesting.
or sometimes I'll hear, like if I'm scared, I'll hear my mom's voice or my grandma's voice, because those are the comforting voices. And I
Interesting.
wonder, is that like, does anybody, am I hearing voices here, or is it
We all are. It's fine.
interesting. I
I always
mean,
hear just myself. I don't hear anybody else's voice.
no?
Yeah.
I don't. So in honesty, this is something that I've wrestled with for a long time. And Deb's like, I've never thought about it. I have, and I don't know if I ever hear a voice, but you hear it. But
Mhm.
you hear it.
We
Right?
hear it, yeah.
So
wait, is it more like impulse for you rather than, hearing like, oh, why did you do that? Or like that kind of like a actual words?
I think it's actual words, but it's
words,
but it's
yeah.
not like how you can choose a voice on your GPS, right?
Right.
I know I hear it, but I don't. It's not male or female. There's no tonality. You know what I'm saying? It's
See,
like
I
a
actually
ghost
have
in a
like a
dream.
tonality to it.
yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
When I'm about to do something completely stupid, and often, I hear my grandma Hope,
Yeah.
and I can hear it in her voice, in her tone. I can almost
Sure.
see her,
That's
and it's
amazing.
like she's like Jiminy Cricket, and they're about the same height.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
I hear those people, or if I can't figure something out, sometimes I'll hear my dad, not so much anymore, but it's always whoever I would have talked to, or whoever would have been the input when they were around in that situation.
Yeah. So mine is. Yeah, I know it's there, but it's not male. It's not female. It's not my voice. Cappuccino will say he always has conversations with 12 voices in his head. 4 of them don't even speak English. So.
Yeah. That actually that's funny, but that does bring me to Shanti. When you're speaking Japanese,
Uh-huh.
are you thinking in English or in Japanese?
I'm still thinking in English. It's it grammatically is different enough that you do need to kind of shift your thinking. I've seen a lot of times people who are native English speakers who have gone to Japan and have lived there for so long that they actually have trouble going back to English, because again, it's a very different structure. So I will say that I do still think in English, but I have been starting to dream in Japanese. So I don't know.
Okay. I almost always, and even when I was going through Latin, Arabic, Hebrew, whatever for school, I almost always think in English. But I've noticed lately when I'm reading, usually stuff that our team lead sends us, I almost started thinking in Arabic, which I'm not really sure why.
That's
And
fun.
it doesn't make any sense because he doesn't write in any way that's based in Arabic. If anything, I should be reading it in Hebrew. But yeah, I always wonder, like, does that change personality style based on what language you're thinking in? Native Spanish speakers, do they think in Spanish?
Well, I mean, don't get me started on how the language that we use is directly tied to our experience and our ability to filter in everything that happens. And I have a lot of opinions about that.
Maybe that needs to be an entire episode next season.
I can go on for a while. Neuroscience and all of the elements of it, the physicality of the brain, the impermanence of self, all of that.
Now, I don't know how much we really talked about this season, but I think we need to next. We need a whole episode about people who are neurospicy.
We all
look I
are.
just got from our producer is amazing. He was like, neurospicy. What do you call neurospicy, Shanti?
I say non-neuronormative. But I really think it's there is no baseline. There's no normal. It's just the different ways that we're dealing with the human experience. And yeah.
So when I say neurospicy, I mean specifically on our team, we've all said it out loud, even in my household. ADHD, OCD, PTSD, anything ending in D. Anything on the spectrum, those are non-neuronormative. So those, I call that neurospicy. And I've noticed the way people who are not neurospicy handle the world and perceive the world and interact with the world is different than how maybe I would.
You know these people? Where are they?
I don't know anybody like this. I'm sure there are some somewhere. Allegedly. But like as simple things as word association. We just had Star Wars Day. Happy Star Wars Day. So what do you say on Star Wars Day?
May the 4th be with you.
Right. And me and my Catholic brain went, and also with you.
Right.
But that's not normal.
Happy birthday. And happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Michael Jordan.
Oh, it's your birthday? I know somebody with a birthday in May.
Also know somebody who has a birthday. Right. Or just people who are awkward in social situations. You like weather? I also like weather. How those people navigate the world is very different than what is considered stereotypical. Mm-hmm. Maybe stereotypical is the weird.
That could be.
Mm-hmm.
She's got nothing.
No, that's mine. I'm trying to agree with you subtly.
Badly. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, we did talk about maybe having an episode about, and this would probably span more than one, religious trauma.
No such thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Praise Jesus.
I didn't say we didn't praise Jesus, but there are some people that have had not great experiences with that. And not just Christian religions.
That's right.
I mean, anything from cults to
how do we define a cult? Reasons, I'm just asking. Or later.
We're going to have to be a little more time on that, but I'm assuming it starts with Kool-Aid.
Easy.
Yeah.
And Nikes.
Yes.
Anyway.
I don't know if anybody knows this out there, but my grandfather's name was Jim Jones. And he used to refer to himself as Reverend.
Not the same one.
Not the same one. We didn't have Flavor Aid in my house growing up.
How about a glass of water? Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Anything that comes out of closed can.
That's right.
But I mean, on the serious side, there are so many people that have had such a terrible time with whatever faith they were raised in, whether it be, an otherwise healthy belief system being crammed down their throat in a way that became unhealthy, or doing things that were self-harming or self-limiting, which goes back to that the self-beliefs and how we perceive ourselves. But I think that definitely warrants some discussion later. Also, how other groups perceive certain groups of one faith or another. We joke about the Mormons coming to the door, but there are other groups that also do that. That there are
Also come to my door.
Yes. And then you can go the other direction and say, well, there's the Crusades. So, I mean, there are so many different avenues you could go down, and that's just on the Christian side of things. I'm Catholic. We've never done anything wrong, ever.
That's right.
Yep.
Above reproach.
Yes. We are the OG of Jesus. And that right there just got me banned
That's
and
right.
canceled.
Jesus? Wait,
Cancel.
no, is this a
Cancel.
GIF thing? GIF?
GIF, yes.
Yeah.
GIF, GIF, Jesus? No?
Yeah.
Oh boy. What other things are we talking about next season, or talking more about next season that we already talked about this season that warrants more discussion?
I thought anxiety and depression got a little hijacked during part of it and got into consent, which maybe means we need to get consent on the table or revisit the other one. Just a thought.
I think they need to be two entirely different episodes, but yes.
Agreed. But
Absolutely.
yeah, I mean, yeah, if the concept of consent didn't come up as a specific topic, that could be something to discuss.
Yeah. When you hear the word consent, you always think sexual, but it could be any.
Oh, I think cats are less than consent. The second they're done,
That's coming from the person who was traumatically woken this morning by her cat.
I still love her. Barely.
Yeah. And she's alive, so everything's fine.
She's fine for now.
Nobody send help for the cat. Cat is fine. I do think that consent needs to be an episode this season. I think something we didn't really do enough of this season. I think we should pull in some experts. We've had testimony from people who have gone through the trauma, but we need experts.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, doctors,
psychologists.
We did have one. We did have Todd.
Yeah.
Todd was on this season. He's going to be back next season. For those of you who liked seeing Todd, he was good. We did have law enforcement this year talk a little bit about how to navigate getting out of a bad situation with abuse. He might be willing to come back. I don't know. I guess I'll have to ask him later. I think he's busy. Building a house or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was many.
And now we're on to physical trauma.
Another thing to take a look at, and maybe have a professional on as well, is IAD, internet addiction disorder.
Oh,
because it's so, and now especially with AI, deep fakes, things like that, so many people, kids, old people, spend so much time in their phone, literally addicted to it, and get false information or anxiety. You know what I'm saying? What
about these poor people that are, talking to somebody that they think is, a nice individual, and it's an 80-year-old or like a 70-year-old guy in their mama's basement or something, some guy named Chuck.
Right.
Like, you just got your entire social security check ripped away from you because you got scammed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, they call it AID, internet addiction disorder. Some will call it technology addiction, right? Yeah. But it's a thing.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's not a good thing.
No, I'm not being paid for the shout out, but if anybody's ever seen the app, it's called Opal. It literally shuts all of my social media apps down during the day.
Cool.
And I've set like a work timer, and I can't open them. I can take 2 breaks during the day where it'll give me 15 minutes. It shuts down my games. It shuts down my social media. I do run my social media for work, but I do that through the computer, and I don't have my personal social media up.
Right. Well, and even to that point, it's just that internet addiction. I mean, how many hours have I lost playing solitaire or Sudoku?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And you're just like, oh my God, 3 hours just went.
Well, I mean, it'll tell me right here. Let's see.
Totally unproductive.
I have saved.
Minesweeper is important, okay?
Yeah, right.
Still don't know how that game works. I've focused 579 hours
with Opal.
with this
Step you
app.
off of it.
Yeah,
Wow.
it has saved me per day 4 hours and 20 minutes of screen time.
Yeah, the average. I think I read someplace it's like the average American is like 4 to 8 hours a day on it. That's a lot.
That's a lot of time.
Wow. And usually not doing something productive either.
Right,
It's like
right.
scrolling through Nordstrom or whatever.
or getting mad at because the algorithms are like, huh, you
Yes,
reacted to this.
You
That's why-
reacted to this.
I stopped using Facebook several years ago because I
Yeah.
realized that the algorithms figured out the way to keep me engaged was to keep me angry. And so I was only being presented with horrible stories that I could do nothing about. And I had to stop.
So I'm the guy who like I try to change my algorithm every week
And how do you do that?
just by watching or commenting on different things. Like
You got to trick the robots.
you got to trick the bots. That's right.
Well, I noticed obviously our phones, and we've allowed our phones to do this. We've given them the okay because we never read the terms and conditions. The other day I said, I think I want sourdough from the store next time. And then every single video I saw on social media was how to make sourdough.
Yep.
So now I have in my kitchen right now a little jar. His name is Edgar. And for those of you wondering why I've named him Edgar Allan Doe. He is my starter for sourdough. And every video on my feed is how to make sourdough and how to make it look pretty and put rosettes on it.
Yes.
Do I look like Betty Crocker?
I just want to eat bread.
I just want bread. I'm Sicilian. I need bread. But
Well, and then they
Sean's
listen
point.
too. If you were to
Yeah.
talk to me about it, you didn't even need to look it up. All of a sudden, it's going to be. In fact, my phone is right here, and I'm going to have all sourdough things for the rest of the day because of
Yes,
this.
That's right.
yes, and so is Kent. He's going to have an entire thing of sourdough on
I
his
will
feed
report
now.
back to you later.
Yeah, I'd actually be interested to hear if anybody
Yeah.
gets sourdough on their.
Or Amish friendship bread.
And that's where it started too.
Right.
My mom was talking to her sister about Amish friendship bread. You're not even wrong. And that's where the sourdough, and I was like, I could go for some sourdough right now. And then it was just like, oh, you could.
Yes,
do
you can do it at home.
And now I have a whole kit because it was available on Amazon on my For You page.
Oh no.
But also on and if sourdough is the worst thing to come across my feed, then I'm doing okay. But to Shanti's point, let's talk about this because it leads into it. When we're going to call it what it is, the war in Ukraine started several years ago now. The only thing I could do was update my CNN app because I couldn't do anything else about it.
Yeah.
I couldn't fix it.
Mhm.
I couldn't go. I couldn't send aid. I donated as much as I could, but
And
I
you
couldn't.
can't find a solution. There's no answer.
There was no fixing it from me personally. It would have taken more than just me, or even like a lot of me's. It would have taken more than that, and it's still taking more than that. We're not going to get into the geopolitical scene on that, but my sleep changed. Every time I woke up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, I had to check my CNN, how many dead now? And it hurt. And anytime somebody would try and talk to me and say, well, why are you putting yourself through this? Because it's a world event. Like it, as comical as this is going to sound, it really did feel like a disturbance in the force. Like something wasn't right in the world and it was physically causing me pain. And that's what my algorithm does too. It's showing me all the bad in the world. So now I watch things like that little girl in the tutu, or the little girl in the dinosaur outfit when she's snowboarding and she gets stuck in the snow and she becomes a Stuckosaurus. Like I will send that to you later so you have it, Shanti.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Yes.
It is right. And she's so cute. And her little wee woos as she's like going through the snow and she says she's like Powdersaurus. That is wholesome. That I'll watch. But I could also get addicted to watching that, where I'm sitting and I've watched now 73 videos of Stuckosaurus. And I realized I haven't done the reflection for work because I've watched all these videos. And what did I gain? I mean, I got joy from those videos, but I also didn't do anything productive during it.
Well, and sometimes joy is enough, but it needs to be balanced.
Well, joy is great until you're homeless because you didn't do any work. Yeah.
Do that.
Balance.
Do that.
maybe we do need to talk about balance this season. You know,
balance is a good one.
and
hard.
What is it?
there's another app that Shanti and I use. What's it called?
Finch.
Oh, Finch. Have you seen Finch? Oh, you don't like
It's
birds,
a bird.
but it's a little cartoon.
Well, it's a burb, not a bird.
They call them burbs, and you get this little hatchling burb. It kind of looks like an owl, penguin. I don't know what it is. It's probably a finch. Go figure.
Yeah.
And you name it and you raise it, and it goes on these little adventures, and you give it all these tasks. Like right now on mine, I've got things that I haven't done today. Once it loads, take a stretch break. Take 3 deep breaths. Give myself permission to rest. Take a walk. And then my final of the day is literally survive the day. And then I've buddied up with Shanti and her burb, Strawberry, my burb, Marty and Strawberry. They are little friends, and we do tasks together, one of which is leave the house.
I'm really
Go outside.
good about that either. It's step
How does that
outside the
work?
door once.
Yeah.
Oy.
And-
No,
and
you're
I-
agoraphobic. Whatever.
All right.
And I find that it actually keeps me interested, because when I do the tasks, he grows up. He gets other things, little outfits, little things, you know.
Nice.
And it's like a way to gamify the things I have to do.
Mhm.
It's sad that I have to do that. But
No, but I mean, gamification of things is really, really useful. I mean, there were times when, because I used to run a game store, a D&D store, and a parent would come in with a kid that was maybe having trouble reading, and I said, find the thing that they are motivated about, gamify it, and all of a sudden, the kid that was, however many grades behind in reading is now reading at a much higher level because they're motivated to do it. They're motivated to look things up. They get an instant reward in that instance, just of being able to engage in the thing that the friends are engaging in.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well-
gamifying things is amazingly useful.
Yeah. I was thinking about that the other day. Is like streaks. Why are
streaks.
you've got the apps or the games or
Mhm.
whatever. It's like, hey, it'll remind you, hey, you don't want to lose
Yeah.
your streak.
Duolingo.
And we're
Thank
like,
you,
oh my God.
Duolingo. Yes, we all. Yes.
Oh my God, I gotta get in there.
I
and
got to
do
get in
one,
there.
right?
Dude, it's
Opal
pushing
does
it out.
that too. Like,
But the streaks are so important to people. But I can't do. Why don't I create a streak for myself? Like, hey, I made 25 sales calls a day. Oh, day 2, 2-day streak, 3-day streak.
well, and that's what I like about this Finch. You could set it that way.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, it works
And-
exactly the way you're saying.
We was watching it was an interview with Paris Jackson, Michael Jackson's daughter.
Yeah.
Mm.
She has grown into such a lovely young woman.
Mhm.
I am so proud of her. She's really doing some stuff.
Beautiful lady, too. Yeah.
She was talking about if she or her brothers wanted a toy growing up, maybe they wanted like a Cabbage Patch doll or whatever she wanted. Her dad would say, if you want 3 toys, read 3 books, talk to me about what the book said. We'll talk about the storyline, and then you can have those toys. I'm not going to deny you the things that you want, but I want you to read first. And she was saying that after a while, the toys didn't matter anymore. The fun was the reading.
Yeah.
That she was
Yeah.
losing herself in the reading, and she's an avid reader now. And I thought that was so
awesome.
cool. You can have whatever you want, and I did that. My son, we can go on any adventure you want if you bring home good grades.
Yeah.
Do what you got to do. We will always go have fun times.
I mean, it's
And-
almost like the extension of you eat your broccoli and you get your ice cream,
Mhm.
Sometimes I like the broccoli more than the ice
I
cream.
do.
Oh, I love broccoli. Oh, yeah.
Ah, although
And ice
cream.
I'll happily do both. How about that?
If nobody's had Bat Brew from Oberweis,
Oh,
you,
You've shown
they
me.
call it Cosmic Cookie now because it's not seasonal anymore.
Wow.
oh, so they have it all the time.
They should, but now mine's currently out.
Nice. Good
Yeah.
dealer.
That's trauma.
That is.
Anybody ever had moose tracks?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You can't beat that.
Good
That's
stuff.
life. What about, and I don't say this because I'm going into one now, but what about the dilemma, the existential crisis that people go through in a midlife crisis?
Do you get to know it when it's happening?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think you know. I think it just
I think you
happens.
get to have a few, actually.
It's not
Is
really a
it- is it-
midlife if it's a few of them.
Right. But is it a crisis or an awakening?
Oh, well, yeah, that's
I
just
guess it
medicine,
depends on
isn't
the
it?
person and how you
Yeah,
deal with it.
right. I mean,
We also didn't talk about the trauma of chronic illness.
ooh,
Mm,
yeah.
that's a thing.
Yep. Like, so everybody can see I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm doing this with my hands a lot. For those of you wondering, it's because I can't feel them,
Yeah.
which with the MS, that happens from time to time, bilateral neuropathy. Right before I come out of remission, and I don't think I'm coming out of remission currently. Not to say that it won't happen, but you'll know right before I come out of remission because I'm go, 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 go. And nobody understands why. They're like, you're tiring yourself out. I'm doing it before I can't. I go into Supergirl mode. Do it right now, do it right now, do it right now. Because if I don't do it right now, I'll be not able to do anything for X amount of time. And then I wouldn't have done it. And then there's that waiting period until, I can do it again. And yeah, I figured that was coming, the up from my
Yep.
mom, because she does the same thing
Yeah.
where, she'll push through it and tire herself out to the point of like exhaustion. And we don't talk about that. A lot of people don't talk about like what it's like to not know what the next stage is. Chronic illness is like, even things like kidney disease, especially renal failure, when you're on that transplant list waiting, or you have asthma and you're not sure, like, will this ever get better? Will it get worse? Will I still be able to do the things that I love? Arthritis, athletes that go through arthritis or end up with some debilitating disease or ailment that takes away their livelihood. We don't talk about those things. I think that's something we should probably check out this next season. Can't see that far.
Handling new diagnoses.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, for me, that one's weird. So, because before I was diagnosed with MS, obviously my mom was there for all this. You guys weren't, but when I was first diagnosed, I had already been sick for over a year. I went from I was working at a honky tonk, a hole in the wall honky tonk in Las Vegas called Larry's Hideaway of all things, and better than the Villa. I'll explain later. And that one's not there anymore. One day I was teaching line dancing and I was a DJ and running around like crazy, working weird overnight shifts. I'd start at 6 p.m. and maybe get home at 6 a.m. and just to sleep a couple hours to turn around and do it again, rinse, repeat, to then falling on the dance floor in time with the music. I mind you, like, could never not do it in time with the music.
Well done.
Could have class. To not being able to walk or have any function in my legs, or my arms curl up and I couldn't really feel them. I went through a bout of Bell's palsy, where I looked like I had a stroke. Half of my face wouldn't smile like the other half. One eye didn't want to do what it needed to do. And I'm going through all of these things, and I didn't have insurance. And I'm in my early 20s, and I had just gotten to the age where I was old enough to no longer be on my dad's insurance. But I also was working, a dead end, bar job, and didn't have enough money to have my own insurance. Nobody knew what was wrong with me. They were throwing out things like it could be ALS. That's a death sentence. What way to make me feel good about, being 23 years old. Finally, my mom decides, pardon the language here, but fuck it. I was living in Vegas at the time. Her and my dad put me on a plane, sent me out to Chicago, out here, and stay with my Uncle Mario, and to go down to University of Chicago Medical Center to see Dr. Arneson. Big shout out to Dr. Arneson. Not only is he a nice guy, but he's an incredible genius. He actually is the one who diagnosed with my mom with MS as well. And he looked at me because I had a bunch of doctors tell me, there's no way you have MS. Your mom has MS. You can't have it too. It's not genetic. So
You
finally,
can't have it if your parent has it, though. That doesn't work.
right.
That's science.
Yeah,
That's
that's how it works. So Dr. Arneson went through all the tests and he said, you have MS. And I honestly didn't know what to do, but for me, it was a relief to hear that I had MS and not ALS. Also, I had watched my mom raise me with MS, and I was like, oh, that's a life sentence, but it's not a death sentence. And at least I know. But what about the people that hear they have cancer? Or they have ALS, actually have
or their
ALS.
child.
Yeah. Yeah. Or they have a child that has, something wrong with them.
I mean, my grandson, he's an amputee. He's 16 months old. He's an amputee.
Wow.
And, they found out the diagnosis while you're still in the womb.
Wow.
So there was some hard conversations, weird conversations.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Between my daughter and my son-in-law.
And that changes the whole landscape of things.
Dude's a little stud. I mean, it's amazing. And it just, when he has his prosthetic on, he's a 16-month-old guy,
He's doing his thing.
All 16-month-olds walk around like drunk uncles, but then, when we get ready for a nap and I take his leg off and he's scooting around on the floor, I'm like, oh my gosh, I forget. You don't, you got 3/4 of a leg.
But I mean, I wonder for him, because he was born.
Exactly.
That I wonder for him if that he will know no difference.
That's right. That's right. It's like a dog, right? He didn't know how to reason.
Right.
It was amputated around 8 months or something like that. So this is what he knows. This is who he is.
And he's just living life.
That's it.
He's happy.
Oh, happy, smart. I mean, just Of
I love that.
Of course, I'm biased because I'm a grandpa, but
when you're allowed to say I have the best grandson in the world, and you're allowed to be right.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Everybody's allowed to say that and they're all right.
Yeah. But the doctors at Shriners are very baffled because they're like, hey, kids his age don't want to wear it, so that he probably won't wear his prosthetic 75% of the time. And my wife and I are like, oh no, he's not going to want it off.
Right.
And so, he'll tap his leg if it's off, like, hey, let's get that leg.
Yeah. I need that freedom.
And then away he runs. He doesn't like crawling. He's just like, let's go.
I don't like crawling either. I don't blame him.
He's going to be a runner. He's going to be an athlete. I bet
I was
you
going to
anything.
say, that sounds like the modern day, what was that? Was it Jesse Owens? The black runner?
Yeah. Yeah.
That had the horrible leg issue as a kid and then turned into an Olympian. Yeah.
So, I mean, and he's Jack. That's it. And, when
like from The Incredibles?
Almost.
He's like Jack.
Jack.
Oh, I love that.
That's what we call him, Jack.
Oh.
But the funny thing is, at first, and here's, the thing was when he was little and you're carrying him and he's got the prosthetic, you're worried, you're kind of worried, like, oh, what are people thinking? Well, if he's got pants on, you don't even know. So now I don't, we don't, it's just, hey, we're going out as family. It's Jack, whatever.
Yeah.
He's just a kid. And nobody really, we don't look to see if anybody's like, oh, poor baby or whatever.
Well, I think at that point, if somebody, was thinking, oh, well, if they don't get it, I'm glad they don't get it, because that means they've never had somebody that's gone through that.
Right.
And there's a lot of times people say, well, and my mom and I have both run into this one. We'll go to a parking lot, put the handicap card up. If you look at me, you don't think
Right.
And they're like, well, you don't look handicapped. And my
You're like,
mom's the
"Thanks."
first one that said it, but I've said it a couple times since. And she's like, well, you don't look stupid, but here we are.
Right.
Or you can have my spot if you take my illness. Yeah.
I like that one a lot.
That's why I want to get him a shirt. Like, you can see my handicap. What's yours?
What's yours? But there is no cure for stupid.
No, there's not.
There really isn't. So
Nope.
if somebody doesn't understand, there was pretty early on in my diagnosis that mom found this picture, and it was a woman's back, and it showed all these different, she had horrible bruising, and it was AI generated. And it was if you could see my illness, this is what it would look like.
Oh, interesting.
Like, when somebody gives you, like, like if your wife walks up behind you and she puts her hands on your shoulders and she rubs your back,
Yeah.
where her thumbs end up, if you did that to me, I'd be on the ground in tears. I would be crying.
That gave us 4 kids.
Yeah. Note at home. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Use protection, kids. And we derailed.
You're welcome.
It's all right.
I'm not even on the rails.
Oh, and look, Opal just told me it is no longer time to use your apps because it's coming up on 10:30. So
it's working.
It is working, but we are coming up on 10:30, which means we're also coming up on the end of airtime. So we've got a list of stuff we're going to talk about this next season. We want a lot more interaction with the audience. I think this year we did a lot of shows taped that aired later.
Yeah.
I think we go live all year or all next season.
I think, and with the topics, I think if we prime the pump a little bit, I think we get some good interaction.
Yeah, I think we go live on all of our shows next season. And Shanti's like, "Oh God, live."
No! I'm trying to keep the cat from knocking everything over. She's walking around behind the computer because she's a pill.
But I love her. Does she want to make an appearance on the show?
That's right. Always a guest appearance.
I was going to say she can come.
She did on the last podcast. It wasn't for this, but it was the other one that we did.
Yep.
Yeah.
She's been on 2 of them.
You guys are cheating on us?
No, not this. It was this podcast. It was just
other
episodes.
Just a work thing.
I'm not cheating on you.
Sorry. I'm not outing you.
That's another episode in and of itself. Infidelity. But no,
we're outing.
Our outing, right?
Yeah, we definitely will.
That's actually a really interesting one.
Yeah, we should do some previews of what's coming up on the next week.
Yeah, I think we set the hook.
Yeah,
I think that's a strong idea. Yeah.
This was a get your feet wet, get the concept rolling, and now season 2 we're going to come back louder, less filtered than ever.
Let's do it.
And we are going to do merch this year. That we'll talk to Nico about partnering with 216 on some 216 Little Black Rain Cloud QR shirts.
I love it.
Super excited about those. And this next intro coming into the next season, it's not going to be a bunch of Mod Podge pictures of hope, thank God. It's going to be pictures of all the Little Black Rain Clouds that have been on.
There you go.
So anybody that's guest on the show is going to be in the intro.
Name and likeness.
Yes. So Shanti, send me a good picture or I'll use your wedding photo.
Hey.
Good pictures.
Which I took, so it's fine.
It's a great picture.
It is a good picture.
And I keep them for blackmail. It's wonderful. Yeah.
Oh no, they were totally wholesome. They were great pictures.
It was cool.
But yeah, this next season it's gonna be more raw, less filter.
I love that.
Live.
Well, I think we learned in the first season we don't have to keep the kid gloves on for some of this because there's so many people in the world and so many of the followers and people who tune in that are like, no, that was the thanks for bringing it up, but you guys went way too soft, maybe. And
we did actually get an email the episode about spousal abuse. We did that was a live episode.
Yeah,
one of our few live episodes, and we had a person, I'm not going to put this person under the bus or anything, that came and said, my spouse is abusive and I'd like to get out. I need resources in my area. They gave their area, sent back some resources, and they are now out of the house.
Way to go.
And that's not us that did that. That was their courage that did that. That was, and let's be real. Whatever you believe in, that was a higher power bringing them, because they're not in our area.
Why tune in?
Yeah, they're not in our area. They're not even in our
goosebumps.
They're not even in our time zone, Kent. They're in a whole nother part of the country, and they were scrolling around YouTube. They found us, and they said in the chat, hey, I'm feeling unsafe. I wish I could get out, but I'm stuck. I said, send us an email.
Yeah,
and they're out.
That's awesome.
And again, I don't want to take credit for that because that wasn't us. That was divine intervention brought them to us and they got themselves out. And if we could do that for other people, then it's worth every minute of this episode and every minute of all the episodes. And what's the point of having the trauma if you can't help other people get out of their own trauma?
Right.
So that's what we are. And that person is the best little black rain cloud that we have had.
Absolutely.
And I'm really proud of that person, and they know who they are. So
that's awesome.
I want more of that. I want more good in the world to come from the bad.
Yeah.
So with that, tune in next season. We will be getting those dates out for you. Thank you to all of our little black rain clouds that have been on. And thank you for our 216 Creator Studios for all that they do for us. And hey, Kent, do you want to do a shout out to our camera equipment?
Yeah, so big shout out to ObsBot. ObsBot is the cameras behind all the magic. We got their Tail 2, which is just cool. We can zoom.
It looks cool.
We can do everything, and it's Nico knows the right terminology, but it's on the little pivoty thing, and
yeah. It looks cool. Like, and it makes me look good, guys. I don't always look like this.
And I mean, you don't even need it. It's got like memory in it, so you don't even need to hook it to a computer. I mean, it's really top shelf. Check them out at obsbot.com.
Yeah, and there's like different things all over the studio. So
yeah.
But yeah, thank you to the studio. Thank you to ObsBots. Thank you to just everybody that's been on, all the guests, all the shout outs in the chat, all the people who are bettering their life because they heard something from us, or our guests. And tune in next season. It's going to get crazy. It's going to get real. And as usual, there's going to be cursing.
That's right.
Yeah.
Again, for all of us here at 216 Creator Studios, thanks so much, and we will see you next season.
Adios, all.
Spurs from the corners where the dreams collide. It's the little black rain cloud where the stories confide. Each episode a journey with laughter and tears, chronicling our struggles, our joys and our fears.